Hey, congratulations for finding this video. So what we're going to cover in this video today is, have you ever been in one of your vehicles and put on the AC and it's blowing kind of sort of coolish, almost warmish air? Well, in this video we're going to cover the most common problem and how to fix that. Hey, welcome back. So what we're going to do today is we're going to try to recharge the coolant in this couple-year-old, it's a Lincoln SUV, a couple years old. We're going to just try to recharge the, what you actually need is just a can of this Freon. So you can buy it at any of the auto stores. You can buy it at a Walmart, some type of hardware store. You can buy them with an actual hose that has the gauge rate on it, or you can buy that separately. And this is a larger can. I don't know how big of a problem I'm dealing with here. Just having some trouble where my AC in my actual car isn't cooling as well as it usually is. So picked up a can of this and we're going to see what happens as we just kind of recharge the system. And you will notice that there are usually two sizes of the can. There's a kind of a small one. You can find it at some of these places for $5 or $10, or there is the large can. So like I said, I've never had this problem with this vehicle before, so I just went with the large can just in case. I don't know how big of a problem I'm dealing with. So it's gonna be a pretty easy process. As you can tell here, we have the hose. We have the end of the actual adapter here. We're just gonna screw this hose into that. There'll be kind of a seal that we're gonna have to break. Once we get through that is when we can actually fill it. So what I'm gonna do first is actually, I'm gonna take this apart. I'm gonna put the gauge up to the vehicle and kind of see where we're sitting for that. There's actually gonna be two different places that you'll see on your air conditioning hose that you'll want to hook up to. There's going to be a low pressure and a high pressure. We want the high pressure, so it's going to be the larger one. This particular vehicle, if you can kind of see here, it's actually pretty accessible. It's going to be right up here. So we're just going to unscrew this, and then after we unscrew that, we're going to take this actual gauge. The end of it, it's got a clamp on it. We're going to clamp onto it, and once you do that, you'll kind of hear it connect on there, and then we'll be able to read the gauge. And we should be able to kind of see where we're sitting. We'll get a good reading from the gauge, and we're going to actually connect the can, or we'll actually take it off. We'll connect the can back to it, reconnect it back to our valve. Then after that, we're going to kind of see where it's sitting. Eventually, we're going to rotate the can upside down, kind of shake it for about 2-3 minutes until the can is, for the most part, empty, or until we get the proper reading on the gauge that we want. So, we'll get the vehicle going. Bear with me, might be a little bit louder than normal, but it's all part of the process. If you do, well, I almost actually forgot to mention this, but if you do go through this process and it doesn't work, if all of a sudden you're not getting cold air pretty much right away, or even the next day if you find out that something has let loose and it's not holding or not cooling, then what you're going to want to do is actually get a detector kit, and you can find those pretty much right next to these. What it is it looks a lot the same as a can like this with a connector. It's compressed and it has actual dye in it, so that way you can hook it up to this. You can do pretty much the same process, but then after you're done doing it, you're going to see usually a bright orange dye, and that'll show you where your leak is at. So that is kind of step 2 after this. Hopefully we don't have to go through that process with this. If it does, then I guess we might have a video on that coming soon. Stay tuned, let's get this thing rolling, and we'll see where we're at. All right, so here we are, and as you see, this gauge is, might even be backwards for you here, but the gauge is just about at, it's between 0 and 10, so it's not actually where we want it to be. I'm gonna start the vehicle up, see if that moves at all anywhere else, and if it does move, then it's a good sign. Might not be totally out, but if it doesn't move, then we're going to take the can, put it upside down, and then we're going to kind of squeeze that trigger to recharge the system. So let's give it a try. All right, so as you can hear, the vehicle is now running. I have it hooked up, and our gauge really did not move any which way, so we're kind of sitting where we're at now. So what I'm actually going to do is, just like I said, I'm going to turn the can upside down, going to give it a good shake, and press the trigger with it, and slowly fill it, and watching my gauge to make sure that I do not overfill. So the vehicle is running, the AC is on high, or supposed to be, and so are the fans as well. So we're kind of going at full speed in there, and yeah, hopefully we get this thing recharged. As you can see, the can is upside down. I'm still connected here to the low pressure valve, and so I'm just going to kind of shake it, give it a shake, and then this trigger is kind of kind of a push trigger. So we're just going to kind of slowly push and then keep an eye on that gauge to make sure that we're not overfilling. And so the can is getting cold, and it does want to untwist a little bit, but I do see the gauge going up some. So pops up to right around 50 or 60. Temperature out right now is about 70, so I'd have to say we're in the safe zone. Alright, one thing that you want to make sure that you're keeping an eye on is when you have this can you're shaking upside down. So now I just pretty much I emptied the can from what I could tell. So I'm going to shut the vehicle off and then disconnect everything. But make sure you don't set your can on your warm running engine, because yeah, that could make it for a mess for you. So make sure that you're keeping that off to the side, or that you have someone helping you, kind of holding onto it or whatever, just to make sure that you're being safe. So yeah, so I'm going to shut the vehicle off. I'm going to disengage and then just see. Once I'm going to shut it off, we'll be able to tell if we're actually cooling. So stay tuned. Alright, I just disconnected it, stuck my head in the vehicle just to shut it off, and it is night and day difference. So we're back to cooling. I still think that, you know, this large can was the way to go. The smaller can would have helped. I don't know if it would be quite where we're at now. Once we were all said and done, looks like our gauge was kind of where we wanted everything to be, so I think we're back up and running. What I did have when I was actually researching this, because as you can tell, I'm not a certified mechanic. This is my first time doing anything like this, so I just figured I'd share it with the world here. And anyway, so what I was reading when I was doing this was to start the vehicle up, let it go for about 10 minutes. So what I had done is I actually did replace right back on our low pressure valve. I put the cap back on it. Now I'm going to start the vehicle up and let it go for about 10 minutes just to kind of cycle through, make sure that everything's working properly. So that's what we're going to do now. Alright, now we're up and running, and I apologize for the noise, but once again that vehicle is running, so bear with me for a couple minutes. But that's where we're at. Now our cooling system seems to be cooling, we are recharged, and we're back up and running. So once again, if you enjoyed this, you found it valuable, feel free to share it anywhere else. Also, right down below, you can subscribe to this page and hit that bell notification, and you'll be informed for any other videos in the future. So I appreciate you tuning in. Once again, this is Anthony Hendrickson. Feel free to subscribe to this page, and I hope you have a wonderful day. We'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.